Hi, this is Teresa with Sirrine Studio. Today I'm going to show you a little sequence. Takes like 6 to 7 minutes to help stretch your quads, your hamstrings, and your hip flexors. So whether you're a runner, you like to hike, you just had a leg day at the gym, or you're just tight from standing on your feet all day. Just a great way to help open up and release those areas. So what you're going to do is you're going to start with, if you have an extra mat, you can have one rolled out and use another one for the calf stretch we're going to start with. If not, just use the same mat. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your mat rolled up. You're going to start the pads of the feet on the mat, your heels touching, drawing the tailbone down, bringing your shoulders out, letting those shoulder blades slide down the back. So this is going to start to stretch that calf, those calf muscles. If you have really tight calves, you can make the roll smaller, and you can do it that way. So if you start to feel like those calf muscles are releasing, you can come down deeper variation. You're going to take those elbows to the knees. You're going to push back through your sits bones, focusing on that exhalation, trying to make the breath in and out through the nose. You always don't want to start with holding a pose for 3 counts. I always tell my students 3 breaths. And then if you can, you work up to longer. And then you're going to come into a forward bend. It's a nice deep stretch for those nice calf muscles all the way up through your hamstrings. Work on taking the crown of the head down to the ground, nose towards your knees. You're going to slowly step off your mat, come into a forward bend. So if you only have one yoga mat, go ahead and roll one out. If you're using an extra one, just place it to the side. You want to have a yoga block close by and handy. So we're going to start with revolved side angle pose. You're going to take your left leg forward, right leg back. This is where you want to have your block close by. So if you're really tight, you can't touch the floor, you're going to grab your block and place it here. So here you want to have both feet facing forward, your back heels touching. You're rotating that back hip down, which is going to deepen the stretch through your front hamstring. You want to try and have a flat back as much as you can as you're lengthening through the crown of the head. So once you have those alignment principles down, you want to try and bring your awareness back into your breath. Really work with your breath. That's what's going to help elongate those muscles, release the areas that are tight. From here, you're going to step your foot back into triangle pose. Great stretch for those hips. For some of my students, they feel like it's a resting pose. For people that are really tight, they don't feel that way so much. So look at your alignment. In triangle pose, you want to have the heel of the front foot lined up with the arch of your back foot. And this is where your block's going to come in. If you're really tight through the shoulders, I'd rather you be back here using a block than rather trying to touch the mat with your shoulders all the way forward. It's really important to keep the alignment correct. It works the muscles more. And it helps to recreate better memory of the muscle to have better posture, better alignment. So you're extending from the hip all the way through the crown of the head, extending up through those fingertips, looking up towards the fingertips only if it feels comfortable on the neck. Again, starting with your 3 breaths, bringing that breath down into the belly. From here, you're going to step your leg back into a runner's lunge. Curl those back toes under, strong back leg by pushing up through the top of the back thigh, out to the heel of the foot, extending all the way up through those fingertips. Shoulder blades are sliding down your back. Breathing here. Feeling that nice and deep through those quadriceps up into the hip flexors. You're going to drop that hand, right hand down to the mat, left hand to the knee. You slowly start to open up to the left, only if it feels comfortable on the low back and through that shoulder. And stay here, or you can extend all the way up through those fingertips. Feeling that in those quadriceps, I know I am. You're going to drop that back foot, let the back toes relax, coming into crescent pose. So you're going to start here. You can take your elbow to the knee. Extending all the way up through those fingertips. Again, coming back to that breath. Noticing where you're tight. You want to stay in your body. Noticing where you're tight. So I started doing a lot of one-on-one private yoga sessions a couple of years ago, and I'm surprised at how many people aren't in their body while they're stretching. They're usually somewhere else thinking about something else. So you need to be in your body, you need to be present so you can notice what's tight, what needs to be worked on and releasing. So you're going to straighten your front leg, coming forth that flat back. So when I do privates one-on-one, it allows me to ask questions and notice where they're feeling it. Rather, if I'm in a big group, teaching a big group of people, I can't ask as many questions, noticing where they're feeling the imbalances, the tightness, what we need to change. You're going to point those toes down. One of the hardest things that people struggle with in yoga, and I hear it from my students over the years, is being present. So being present with just their breath, being present in the room, being present in their body. While they're doing the poses, noticing how they feel. From here, you're going to point the toes down, feeling that stretch in the top of the foot. Good. You're going to step forward, and you're going to switch legs. I'm just going to come to the other side so you can see what I'm doing. So now your left leg is going to go back. So again, both feet are facing forward, back heel's touching. You're trying to rotate that back hip down. If you need that block, place it on the inside of your foot. Otherwise, just take your hands down. You want to try and really have a flat back, lengthening through the crown of the head. Trying to keep this kneecap softened. It's really easy to lock it. You want to keep it softened. Again, the more you rotate that back hip down, the more you're going to feel the stretch to the front hamstring. One more breath here, and then we're going to step back into triangle pose. Look at your alignment, placing that block behind your ankle if you know you need it, if you have tight shoulders or tight hips, or just spider fingertips behind that back ankle. So the heel of the front foot should be lined up with the arch of the back foot. Pushing this bottom shoulder forward, top shoulder back. Extending all the way up through those fingertips. Bringing that awareness back into your breath. Noticing how good this stretch feels, or maybe how you're struggling with. If you're tight through those hip flexors or you're really tight through the shoulders, then you'll kind of know what areas you need to work on if you're present in the pose with your breath. From here, you're going to come into that runner's lunge. Don't let the knee come past the ankle. You're pushing up through the top of the back thigh, out through the heel of the foot. Taking those arms up, balancing here, feeling that warming up, also not only stretching the back leg, but you're feeling working that front quad. Keep those shoulders relaxed by sliding your shoulder blades down your back. One more breath here. Slowly taking that hand down to the mat, right hand to the knee, again slowly opening up. Extending up through those fingertips only if it feels comfortable. And take that hand down, drop that back knee. Toes are relaxed on the mat, coming into crescent pose, starting with the elbow on the knee. Extending up through those fingertips, keeping that shoulder relaxed by sliding your shoulder blade down your back. Feeling that nice stretch, those quadriceps all the way through the hip flexors. Again, if you want to make it slightly deeper, you can always look away, palm away from you. A little bit different variation. You're straightening that front leg. So again, this is a great sequence to do if you just did your legs workout at the gym, you went for a run, you went hiking, whatever it is, you want to just feel like your legs are really tight. It can only take 6 to 7 minutes. Point those toes down, stretching the top of the foot. Taking both hands down, we're going to step into a forward bend. Really letting the crown of the head hang down to the ground. Stretching those hamstrings one more time. Slowly coming all the way up. So there's your little 6 to 7 minute stretch for the quads, the hams, and the hip flexors. If you want to learn more about me and Sirrine Studio, you can find me at sirrinestudio.com. You can like me on Facebook. If you like this video, please like it, share it.